Daniel Dubois calls out Agit Kabayel. And I think that Daniel Dubois, ahead of all the other people that really didn't say anything worth anything, even Chisora and Dillian White didn't say anything. They just talked about money and figures and paperwork and stuff. But Daniel Dubois, people, my counterpunch, calling out Agit Kabayel, was the only person that actually made a statement. Was the only person that made a statement. Because it's like, okay, everyone else talked about, oh, well, you know, these are good guys. This is this is that. And it's like, okay, well, we pretty much know that. What else do you got? Who do you want? And Dubois was like, I want you, Kabayel. I'll fight you, Kabayel. And I was like, okay, at least we have someone with some kind of voice. Say what you want to say about Daniel Dubois. Call him on the spectrum, call him this, call him that. The man wants all the smoke, okay? And here's the deal. If we don't get the Frank Sanchez fight and we get the Kabayel fight instead, I'm okay with that. Why? Because he's not moving down. That's not a downgrade. That's more like a side grade. Because it's not the IBF. He's going for the WBC. You know, and all of that is okay with me. You know what I mean? Because he's putting himself back in position to fight for that crown once again. And then the crazy thing is, you know, if he gets an opportunity to fight Kabayel, a guy that's undefeated, a guy that's smoked the last three guys he was in there with, and if he beats Kabayel, that puts him right back on top. Now, I don't know if he will, but that would be one hell of a fight, because one thing about Kabayel, you're going to be able to hit Kabayel. And as long as Daniel Dubois can hit you, he's game. Now, if he can't hit you, that's a totally different issue. We know what he's going to do. He's going to fold. He's going to crumble. But if he can hit you, he's still going to be in the game as long as it lasts. That's what I like about Dubois. You know, Dubois is like, look, look, if I can hit you, bro, I'm going to fight you all night. If I can't hit you, good night. You know what I mean? But I like it. You got to give Danny Dubois credit. You know what I mean? I think he was the only one that actually stepped up and spoke. All these other guys just kind of sit there like they were, you know, I don't know if they were prompted to not say anything. You know, you had Moses, the young lion there, and you know that was kind of strange because speaking of Frank Sanchez, you know, they pulled him back. They withdrew him from that opportunity for the IBF. And then Danny Dubois stepped in, supposedly. We don't know. We'll see. But then it's like, okay, well, damn, dude. So what else do we have, right? So it's like, okay, you're not speaking like you used to. He was going to call everybody out. He didn't say anything. Akali really didn't say anything. Adelaide didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? I get Kabayel. He just said, hey, it's good to be here. Like, you know, like Akeem, you know? But other than that, it's like no one actually took the initiative like Danny Dubois. And for that reason, I have to give him credit. I have to give this man credit for doing that because, you know, someone has to, you know, raise their hand, you know what I mean, and speak. And I'm glad that Daniel did that. But I'm going to tell you, man, that's going to be one hell of a fight. That will be one hell of a fight. And you know what? I actually fancy the Kabayel Dubois fight over the Dubois Frank fight. You know what I mean? I know Frank needs a fight and all this, that, and the other, and I get all that. But Kabayel also needs a fight. You know what I mean? And Kabayel beat Frank, and he's the only one to beat Frank Sanchez. So, you know, people have to remember that. He's the first one to beat Arslan Big Markmadov. You know, he stopped Big Bang Zhang. You know what I mean? And that's after he got off the floor to stop Zhang. But he was punishing Zhang anyway. So he was pretty much all the way complete with, you know, his process of punching the liver out of Zhang anyway. But nonetheless, man, Kabayel is the guy to meet. And he's also the guy to beat. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Daniel Dubois calling out Agit Kabayel vocally. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!